Well, what about Liverpool? Because since this show came back last Monday, a lot of Liverpool fans have been in contact to say, are we actually going to sign anyone? Well, actually, this is about a potential sale here, because Liverpool are considering allowing Rhian Brewster to leave on a permanent deal in this transfer window, which we weren't expecting, but with the possible protection of a buyback clause, like Manchester City do, like Barcelona do, Manchester City with Kelechi Iheanacho when he went to Leicester, for example. Now, Newcastle made an inquiry about Brewster, 20 years old he is, but Liverpool's plans, they wanted to know what Liverpool's plans were. However, any offer from Newcastle would have been rejected, as Liverpool believe that Brewster's opportunities at St James's Park would have been limited. Now, we're told that up to 6 Premier League clubs have expressed an interest in him. He spent the second half of last season on loan at Swansea and did well. We know that Aston Villa, Sheffield United and Brighton are 3 of the clubs who've been interested. However, Liverpool maintain that no final decision on Brewster's Anfield future has been made. But Mark, you've seen Rhian Brewster a lot. You can understand why there is so much interest in him, especially now that he might even be available on a permanent deal.
Yeah, that fascinates me. I watched a lot of Swansea for Soccer Saturday last season, and they signed him, like you rightly said, at the back end of the campaign. His impact there was huge, and he was immensely impressive for a young player, just 20 years old. He's got a bright future. 11 goals in 22 appearances for Swansea in the Championship gives you an indication as to just how well he did, slotting into that side. Lots of young players at Swansea under Steve Cooper that all really performed well, and they were unlucky not to progress through the playoffs. And I spoke to a couple of teams in the Championship over the course of the summer to say, would you be interested in taking Rhian Brewster on loan? And they said, yes, absolutely. But the problem is, there's a number of Premier League clubs that are interested in him. And as you revealed there, 6 Premier League sides all want him. It's difficult to see why someone outside of the top 6 wouldn't be interested in Rhian Brewster. He's quick, he's pacey, he's intelligent, he can stretch the line, and his record suggests he can score goals. The fact that he could leave permanently really surprises me, because he's such a good player.
Yeah, I think as loan spells go, it couldn't really have gone much better for Brewster at Swansea, could it? 11 goals, like you said, in 22 games. And obviously it ended in disappointment with that playoff semi-finals defeat. But he got a very nice goal out of it at Griffin Park. But it seemed to me that he was ready for that step up at Liverpool. And I think a lot of Liverpool's fan base as well thought that he would be the heir, I suppose, to Divock Origi's throne, and he would, challenge him at Liverpool. So it's quite surprising, really.
I think Liverpool would have to have some sort of a say-so. You saw it with Chelsea and Nathan Ake in Bournemouth. They sold him for 20 million quid, but they had that buyback option so that if he was to improve, if he's to progress, then they still had a level of control. And I'm sure Liverpool will want to insert that and hold that control if he were to leave permanently.
Yeah, so I mentioned Manchester City and Barcelona, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Chelsea did that with Nathan Ake, didn't they? But when most of the Liverpool fans have been getting in touch with, they're asking us about Thiago Alcantara. Liverpool fans clearly keen for him to be added to the squad.
Yeah, and you can understand why. Liverpool fans are absolutely desperate to get some signings through the door over the course of this summer. They've had the most incredible couple of seasons with the Champions League and the Premier League, and Thiago Alcantara would certainly fit into the mould of what type of players that Liverpool are interested in. You look at his qualities, you look at his experience, he would absolutely fit into that side. And I think what's quite important for this summer and for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp is that they look not only just to this season, because of course they have a quality squad, but what about next season and the season after and the season after? It's not just about having a winning side for a couple of years. And this is where I want to maybe hark back to Sir Alex Ferguson. He was the master at reinventing a side whilst winning silverware with his current side. Every time players got towards the end of their tenure at Manchester United, he had someone that was ready to slot in, so that he didn't just go and win 3 or 4 pieces of silverware in 2-3 seasons. He did that every 3 or 4 seasons and continued to rejuvenate that squad. Whereas you look at the likes of Mourinho at Chelsea, Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, they had a small period of success, but it wasn't like Sir Alex Ferguson's success over 20 plus years. And I think that's what Liverpool need to look at, and that means signing players now that will be ready in a couple of years' time.
So you think they maybe should be active?
Absolutely.
A lot of the people are saying that, yes, they want Thiago, but they're worried that might mean they would lose Wijnaldum.
Yeah, so as we understand it, I mean, Spanish media are very much driving the reports of him going to Barcelona, but as we understand it, contact has not been made so far. We know his contract is up next summer, and the message from Liverpool to Barcelona, very much, if you want him, then you're going to have to pick up the phone. But for me, you know, if you rewind 12 months and told Liverpool fans that Gini Wijnaldum might have been on his way out of the club, I think they would have been massively surprised by that. Obviously, Thiago, undoubtedly a world-class midfielder, but Wijnaldum, to me, is such a crucial cog in this Liverpool machine. He's been ever-present. Just some stats for you. He's played 187 out of a possible 213 games. That's across all competitions since his arrival back in 2016. I mean, he's one of the fittest players in the squad. He's very resilient to injury. Played in all but one of their Premier League games last season. 35 of those were starts as well. He's incredibly versatile. Where's the number 5 at Anfield? He's played as the number 6, number 8, number 10 in Klopp's midfield. Was a number 9 when Liverpool played at the Nou Camp last year as well. And he's even been part of a back three when Liverpool's defence was completely decimated by injury. And look, Jurgen Klopp trusts him. There's no doubt about that, because he plays, well, he trusts him in the biggest games, because a lot of his goals, of those 187 Liverpool appearances, the goals have come in the biggest games. 19 goals will be remembered probably more for their significance than as for their execution.